Wednesday evening was Donald Trump's first night as a private citizen in 4 years. So what do you do after you go from being arguably the most powerful human being on the planet, at least the most powerful human being obviously in the United States, to suddenly just being some poor schlub who retired down in the south of Florida? What do you do? How do you spend that first evening? Gotta be a little awkward, right? Well, not if you're Donald Trump. You still got stuff to do. I mean, as Fox News said earlier this week, man, that guy works so hard. He's always working. And believe it or not, folks, Donald Trump was, in fact, according to a report from the Telegraph, working on Wednesday evening. His first evening as a private citizen in 4 years. But you know what he was working on, according to this report? He was working on finding lawyers willing to represent him in his upcoming impeachment trial. Because as we have discussed, I've discussed it here, I've discussed it over at Ring of Fire, Trump's having a bit of a legal issue right now. And I don't just mean all of the lawsuits coming against him at the moment. No, I'm talking about the fact that he can't find quality counsel to represent him in his upcoming impeachment trial. Now, just to reiterate what I have said in the past, obviously in the first impeachment trial, Donald Trump had all kinds of help. He was the president. He basically had the whole DOJ at his disposal, and he took advantage of it. He had White House counsel Pat Cipollini working on this. As the president of the United States, he was able to attract, big name lawyers like Alan Dershowitz. But Dershowitz has some issues of his own that I imagine he is working on. Donald Trump not able to use the DOJ anymore, or White House counsel, or really anyone that works in the federal government. And even Rudy Giuliani, who Trump apparently still hasn't even paid for his legal work. Giuliani has had to come out and say, listen, I can't represent him because I'm actually a witness now because I was a part of this. So, I can't do it. And then, of course, you have the other issue, of the private lawyers out there, the big name law firms. They're a little gun shy at the moment. You see, they had originally been working with Donald Trump on his election challenges, but after about a week or two, they all decided, nope, this is too crazy for us. You have no claims. We're not going to do this. And that's why Trump was left with people like Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, and Rudy Giuliani. And of course, we all know how that played out, which is part of the reason Trump is now a private citizen, because he had no case, but these people were willing to go out there and stake their reputations on it, and they all lost. So Trump spends his first night as a private citizen trying to find lawyers. The bigger question is, does it even matter, though? Does it matter what kind of defense Donald Trump puts up in that impeachment trial? Do we honestly think you're going to get, 17 Republicans to vote to convict him and well, you can't remove him, but vote to convict him? Are you really, really going to get 17 of them? Are there 17 Republicans with a conscience, or enough of a conscience to understand that bad man has to be punished? I don't think there are. I don't even think there's 50 Democrats willing to do that. Joe Manchin looking straight at you now. So maybe he doesn't need a lawyer. Maybe he could just walk in there and be like, yes, I'm Donald Trump. I did a thing. What are you going to do? All right, thanks. I'm going to go back to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. This is all for naught. But it is fun to watch him scramble. Because if he can't find anybody willing to represent him in these impeachment trials, just imagine how much trouble he's going to have finding a lawyer to defend him if New York brings those bank fraud charges against him and his kids. That is the bigger underlying story. If they won't represent him now, slim chance they're going to represent him when he really needs to be defended.